Morning everyone. It's very hard for me to do a video without my tripod and everything, but today is story time. A lot of you asked for my story, so here goes. This is about a guy that I met in Manassas with my friend. I'll call her Judy. And I did not know that Judy was mentally ill. No disrespect to anybody who is bipolar, because I think there's a little bit of that in every one of us. But I invited him over to the broccoli farm with Judy, and we went for a long walk. It was a 200-acre, beautiful place right on the Rappahannock, I believe. And I had just recently gotten a Labrador, a black Labrador I called Bailey, and we were on the walk. Now, Bailey is a puppy, and I had not given the time that this dog deserved for training because I just had 6 rods put in my back. My granddaughter and my grandson came and took care of me for about 11, 12 days, and I had a back brace on. And this dog, Bailey, was a sweetheart, and she had, like I said, had not been trained, and she kept jumping on me and this guy. I'll call him Bruce, yeah. And while we were walking, he got fed up with this dog and he kicked it. He kicked Bailey 50 feet in the air. I was in shock. I made up my mind then to tell Judy, this is a bad dude, and I made sure I pressed that point. And I felt so sorry for Bailey. I just wanted to cry. I've never met anybody that had been mean to animals. And I take a little bit of the guilt myself because I just had surgery. So I went back to the house and I said, listen, Judy, this guy's bad news. We got to get rid of him. So I did. And I blocked him on my phone. And he was a union electrician. So, fast forward 3 years later, I find out that Judy had been living in my beach town with this guy helping him out remodel and refurbish this old house. She would call me crying her eyes out saying, this guy's mean to me. And I said, Judy, I told you, he's not a good guy. He can kick an animal. He can kick your ass. Now, fast forward another year, I was shocked that she had a relationship with him behind my back, which I didn't really care one way or another. So fast forward another year, she still was hooked up with this bad dude. And he had her arrested because she, I guess, got angry, and he called the cops on her, and she served a night in jail. And, when someone tells you that there's a bad dude, please believe them. And he kept asking me on a date, and I said no. I blocked his number. He couldn't get a hold of me. Well, he came into my job one day, and he hugged me right during the pandemic, and I pushed him away. He goes, oh, I really needed that hug. Any of these guys who come up to you and you don't have a relationship with them, and they force a hug on you, they just want to feel your boobies, honey. That's all it is. And so Annie thought that him and I had a thing going, and I told her, I said, I've never been out with this guy. Now, my son, who I rarely see, he came up to the beach and we went out to a nightclub. And this guy named Bruce comes and sits down and makes himself welcome. And my son got really, really mad. But I have to learn to start being a bitch because I'm too nice. I should have told him to get his ass up off the table. I wanted nothing to do with him. And I lost a good friend over this. But when I first met Judy, I was on a blind date with this guy, and I really had a connection with him. Well, before we even got to the house, when I was unlocking my door, she told him I was a terrible housekeeper. And I found out later, a couple years later, that she did that on purpose so that I would not be taking away from her friendship with me. And I thought, this girl's pretty evil. pretty damn evil. My hand is shaking. So yeah, what? That's not a friend. She says, well, I wanted you all to myself. Well, we were not lesbians or anything. We did sleep together, but that's about it. But I thought, that is so cruel. And I had another family member who did the same thing with the same guy. Said, oh no, you don't want to hook up with Debbie. She's bad news. You know, so I told this relative of mine, I said, if I was there, I would kick your ass right now. Why do people want to cause these conflicts? You know, this is why I stay by myself. I only stay with really good, true friends who don't cause drama. I'm so sick of it. So that's the story about the guy who kicked my dog. Should have had him freaking arrested. That's what I should have done. But he, you know, there's some people that are so evil that you know that they would retaliate and hurt you. And I was living all alone on this farm. I mean, miles from anybody. So, bye everyone. Thanks for listening.